Hello, today Segovia's Slur study number 5. Is it exciting, number 5? Well, let's find out. So we're going to be alternating the I and M. We're going to be hammering the first finger to the third finger, then the second finger to the fourth finger. We're going to repeat that and then move up to the very next measure, which will be a half step higher than where we start. This is in 2/4 time. The count is 1 E and a, 2 E and a. I may not count that out loud, but maybe I will. Anyways, let's go ahead and give this a shot. So we have, starting on the first string, first fret on an F natural, we're going to pluck with I and hammer 3. 1 E, middle finger, and a, 2 E and a. Simple enough. So when we put that together, we get 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 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 1 E and a. Anyways, you get the idea on that counting. So without further ado, okay, little tiny mini break as we move on to string number 2. On string number 2, when we get to the descension, there are some specific details in the pull-off or descending slur falling into the adjacent string, meaning string number 1, instead of being allowed to flail freely in the air. It's a control type of thing, and helps with the hand posture and the proper execution of the slur. So anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at string number 2. Go. Okay, so there's some difficulty in that execution, which is why I played it quite a bit slower. Also, I started doing the commentary videos on these slur studies a few days ago. I started with number 1, and then the next day I did number 2, and so forth and so on. But I have not practiced these studies in probably 15 to 17 years, so I've been a very bad student. I haven't been disciplined and diligent in practicing and studying like Segovia was. He was very detailed and diligent in his studies, and From what I understand, he said, if I miss 1 day of practice, I notice. If I miss 2 days of practice, my wife notices. And if I miss 3 days of practice, everybody notices. So, that's kind of a really cool statement, if that really is the case. I think I had read that somewhere. But, having a regimented study routine on a daily basis is really important to keep things functioning, to keep the posture and the forms working, to keep the gears oiled, so to speak. And after I get done with all the Segovia scale studies and the Slur studies, and maybe Giuliani arpeggio studies, the 120 Giuliani arpeggio studies, and maybe a few other details, I might start putting together videos that are exclusive to a study regiment, so that time can be minimized and the energy that's going in can be minimized also, to get a maximum output for the minimum investment. But one of the main things that will really be of great value is to be able to read and comprehend, to understand yourself, to understand your hands and how they function and how they work, to train your hands through these exercises and develop a deeper, more powerful, intimate relationship with your own learning processes, and how this study information, virtuoso finger exercise training related stuff, will build within you something that is extremely valuable and a great treasure. But it will only get built because that's something you choose to build within yourself, and then you experience what it is that is of value to you, and you start to build upon that. Okay, string number 3. Okay, little tiresome on the fingers, but that's okay. So, a little bit of hand rubbing, a little bit of hand massaging, let some of that built up pressure dissipate. I'm trying to capitalize on empty spaces between the notes that I'm playing. That's kind of a little mental trick that I've been applying to myself. Only trying to feel and experience the empty space so that there's a place for built up pressure to kind of dump and drift off to, kind of electricity going to ground, so to speak, just letting the energy completely go off. So I'll mention those empty spaces. I've mentioned that in other videos, but I'll bring that back in today too as well, from time to time. So string number 4. Empty space right there. Big empty space. Okay. So those little empty moments definitely are an assistance. I haven't studied these studies in a very long time, so uh, if I continue to set myself up on a daily regimen, which I think I'm probably going to be doing that, uh, if I stay on a consistent regimen, there's no doubt in my mind the stamina will increase, the strength will increase. Uh, I'll be able to exert uh, energy comfortably and effectively and efficiently without really having a lot of pressures build up. But, I already understand that if I'm not practicing certain things on a daily basis, rust starts to develop, and all of a sudden I'm having Tin Man syndrome where, unless somebody comes along with an oil can, I'm going to be frozen in the forest getting rained on. But anyway, having said that, let's move on to string number 5 because we're looking for the glorious conclusion, string number 6, where we've gone, yeah, I completed it. Okay, string number 5. Little empty moment, and here we go. Empty moment. And now, my most favorite string of all. The string that when I finally finish this string, my hand gets to go, yay, yay, please don't do it again. It's good. It's good. It's all fun. Okay, here we go. String number 6. And a little empty moment, and here we go for the descension. Okay, so hopefully this was slow enough and detailed enough to follow along. If you need to slow this down to work on it, definitely do that. Also keep in mind that you don't have to just jump right in and start trying to execute these studies on each string globally. It's extremely demanding to do that. The ascension is much, much easier than the descension. And, some people might notice that as I'm using my hand, I'm in a very specific posture with my fingers. You can see that the first finger sometimes is going to have a tendency to lean to the outside edge. The fourth finger is going to lean to the outside edge. There might be times where I'm opening my index finger up in this fashion and creating a heavier arch and a heavier lean on the fourth finger going to the outside edge of the finger. There are reasons why I'm using this particular hand position and finger posture in the study. And you notice that as my hand moves up or moves down, the posture may adjust accordingly depending on what string I'm on and where I'm actually located on the fretboard. So these are some specific details, and if I ever feel like I need to really slow down, I do. I slow down and focus on whatever it is that I'm doing for execution wise. I do know that over a period of time with consistent practice, short periods of time, day after day after day, the strength, the postures, everything that is going to make the exercises more effortless will settle in little by little over a period of time, and not a long period of time, a short period of time. It's the consistency, quality over quantity, that really gets a lot of the work done without you having to put as much effort into it. But that type of stuff will build a foundation that at some point in time the fingers will be executing with very, very small micro movements, and speed will then be the thing that will be worked on, because you'll understand the postures and you'll understand the mechanics of how your hands are working. Like I said, I haven't practiced these studies in a very long time, but I decided I was going to pull them out, do some tutorials on them, and for my students and anybody else who wants to access the information, and hopefully this will be helpful to other people. So if you have any comments or suggestions, please leave those and I will answer them. I appreciate any comments or suggestions that come my way. If there's specific videos that somebody may want a video on, let me know what that is and I'll put a video together and post it. Everybody can benefit from this interaction. Let's see, is there anything else? Use sheet music if you can. Acquire sheet music, preferably not tablature, just actual sheet music written for the instrument, because that's of great benefit to you. Also, in these studies, if you want to isolate the study and just work the study in one isolated place, go to the 5th fret of the instrument and then learn that study right there. I'm on string 2 right now because string 1 is the easiest string to do it on. So if I always do the studies on string 1, well, that's great. Will I benefit from it? Absolutely. There's a lot of good things, a lot of good benefits are going to happen. But if I go to string number 2, where I know I'm going to encounter some difficulties, then maybe I'm going to start to master those difficulties, and maybe my technique in how I'm using my hand, the postures, maybe that posture is actually going to adjust itself to discover where it works to make that exercise feel like it's nothing at all, like it's effortless. So if I do this exercise only right here, then I'll have this. So you can see how controlled that is, and it's easy and effortless to do that in one location just once or twice. That's way easier than trying to do it string by string, ascending and descending throughout all 6 strings in one constant movement of study. Can it be done that way? Sure it can, but you probably want to build up to having that kind of stamina. And if your hands need the break, you don't push yourself into destructive pain. If you're feeling tension and some detail of pain, some pain is healthy pain, some pain is acceptable if you're comfortable with what you're doing. But if you're pushing yourself into what feels like destructive pain, then you probably don't want to do that. So learn to listen to your body, learn to listen to what your experiences are inside yourself, and have fun with what you're doing, and feel free to be versatile with studies and tailor them to meet your needs so that you can rise to a higher level of skill in a shorter period of time at your own command. Anyways, if anybody needs anything, let me know. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.